Oh, you gotta love an empty spot in the driveway. So the Magnum left last night, Charger. All that suspension work done. I put another lower control arm there and another ball joint. Found that. Found the water pump leaking and radiator leaking, so it's coming back for that the next day or two. And I got the Magnum all back together there, out there. Got to get the heads back today, hopefully. Got the rod and the piston in there, the oil pan, all the suspension put back together, sway bar, rack, all that stuff you got to take out to get the oil pan off one of those. So that's all finished up. It's Andrea's birthday today, so probably got to go shopping this morning, run some errands, go by the parts store, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know how much we'll get done out here in the shop today. But if we do get out here, we'll turn the camera on for you guys. And I got to make a video of Andrea opening her birthday card from Neil. He sent her a card about 2 weeks ago and told her it was bad luck if she opened it before her birthday. So she's kept that closed, and she's going to open that today. So we'll get a video of that for Neil. And I hope Neil's doing good. Haven't heard from him too much lately. I know he's busy, but so that's what's going on. Got the bug in here. Got to get back on this. I got all my paint mixed up now. And the seam sealer is taking a long time to dry for some reason. Feels a little better this morning. You can see down there I purged a little out on a piece of tape, but I probably needed to purge a little more out of the tip. And it was sticky for a couple days. So I gotta get some primer on that. And some primer on that. A couple spots we'll get primed today for sure. And hopefully get this thing in paint. So a little delay on that. I gotta clean the front end up still in the transmission. Sort of hard to move that stuff around by myself, so got to get Hans to help me get that in. I got some Super Clean yesterday, some more soap. So I got a transmission jack for the Titan, try to get that in. And I saw where somebody left me a comment on the converter, the 3-click thing. And I'm thinking that's my issue. You know, I'm getting it to click in twice, but it's got like a square drive flange on the converter for the pump. And I don't know if that's going in or it's just a pain on the converter, because it's a pretty tight deal. But we'll get that figured out. I'm not gonna get really aggravated with it. When I dropped it on my arm, I just figured I'd take a couple days, let my arm get the strength back in it again, what strength it has. And I gotta have somebody out there helping me when I'm trying to do it, because it fell on me when I was outside by myself. So, but anyway, that's what's happening today. I gotta put a water pump on the old 6-liter out there for Andrea. Get that done. And it's got a weep drip now for a while. And yeah, so that's what's going on. Showed you guys the oil thing. There's always a debate on oil. I will just let you guys know that if you're using Rotella, thinking that it has zinc in it still, it does no longer has zinc in it. They took the zinc out of the Rotella when they went to low sulfur diesel. The zinc messes the emissions up. So you can thank the late model diesels for that. They took all the good stuff out of that oil. A lot of the Volkswagen guys used to like the Rotella because it had the extra pressure additives and such in it, which it no longer has. And it also is a low RPM oil. It tends to foam if you turn a lot of RPMs with that stuff. So yeah, the aero shell's been working really good for me. I haven't taken the motor apart, of course, you know, but we'll pull that motor apart when we get up. I got a 1776 over here on the floor that I'm going to throw together for that car. So we'll get some piston cylinders and finish up some heads I got. And you guys drive with me all the time in that car, 80, 90 miles an hour. We'll pull it apart and see what kind of wear the engine has with the aero shell in it. And I don't expect there to be much, because it runs pretty good. So, and I haven't noticed any variation on my valve lash. That's usually where you'll start to see it as the lifters are wiping out, you know. Your valve lash will start going away. Your valves will be loose every time you go to adjust them. And that's the other thing I've done is I've taken the lash from 6 thousandths to 3 thousandths, and that seems to help a bunch. So that's something that you can try. See if you like the power difference and the difference in the way the motor sounds. It's much quieter at 3. You got to remember, air-cooled motor only gets that measurement only gets larger as the motor gets hotter. So if you set it at 3 cold, it's probably 15 hot. So I had another question about turning a Volkswagen motor into an aircraft motor. I really have no experience with that at all. I do know that I believe there's a company called RevTech that makes some Volkswagen conversion stuff for planes, and is sort of redundant on the ignition system. I know they get a dual plug setup and sometimes dual ignition systems, but I know there were some parts on the Samba, whether it's in the general parts section or the performance parts section. There was a brand new engine case that had been machined for the larger spout. The bearing on the front of the case, snout bearing, small bearing here. A lot of times what they'll do is they'll take and make this larger when they put a prop and hub assembly on the front of the crank. And that case had already been modified, and it was a brand new case, and they weren't asking a lot of money for it. So you might want to check the Samba out, do that search on that Volkswagen case. And I have seen cylinder heads. Ooh, cat fight. I've seen cylinder heads for sale on the Samba 2 that were set up for the aircraft stuff with spark plugs on the bottom. So check that out. Not a lot of experience to share with the airplane stuff. The other question I had was clicking sound when you go to start the car on a Volkswagen. Drove it, now it clicks. You want to make sure the motor turns over by hand, of course, because they can lock up fairly fast, that's not the issue, and the motor spins freely by hand and you're having a starting issue. Sometimes the starter can be bad. A lot of times what happens is the wire from the ignition switch that goes back to the starter solenoid gets some age on it, and it doesn't carry the same amperage through the wire back to the starter solenoid, and it can make the car hard to start. You can put a Ford solenoid at the back of the car and rewire it where it's getting the power right from the Ford solenoid, and it doesn't have to travel all the way from the ignition switch. There's a couple how-tos on that. If you go on the Samba, there's some forums. I know Gene Berg sold a solenoid booster kit for years. I don't know if they still have it available in their catalog. And a lot of guys do that trick with the bus. Either they'll put a relay at the back of the bus or the Ford solenoid, so it's not having to get the signal from the key all the way back to the starter. It comes from the Ford solenoid. So that's an issue a lot of times on a bus, not so frequent on a Bug. My car does that. If I have the headlights on, it won't start with the key. You got to turn the headlights off or it just clicks. So I'm ready for a Ford solenoid on mine, so maybe when I do that I'll make a video of it and show everybody how to wire that up. I bought one for a friend of mine's bus, and he ended up having somebody put a relay back there, and the relay doesn't work quite as well as the Ford solenoid does. So yeah, so we gotta get some tools put up. Looks like a bomb went off in here. Ba-boom. I want to say thanks to Bronco Carl for these gloves. Those came in real handy. My hands are sort of beat up, and yeah, those work really well when your hands are done. Gloves are nice. So let me shut this vlog down. You guys have a great day. Looks like it's going to be a John Kerry day here for sure. Here goes the school bus. It's early here, 6:30. But doesn't look like there's too many clouds in the sky. Stars are out. And if we get into anything, we'll turn the camera on for you. And like I said, this Magnum will be next. We'll get the cylinder heads back on that and get that inside and pull the doors off. You got the bumper loose on the back, got to pull it the rest of the way off. And hopefully we'll get this cut in and a color change on this, going charcoal, silver to charcoal. And got to get that done sort of quick. Once I get the tranny back in the Titan, there were some other guys that asked about the heading up to Pennsylvania. I'm definitely going to go up there for a while, but I got to get some of this stuff cleared off the deck. And I want to get that bug painted and back to Scooter. And of course I got to get this wagon out of here, and I'd like to drive my truck, so really need to get that thing back together. So that's what's going on. The bus here, I've been trying to get Andrea to make me up some paint. I came up with the paint scheme for it, and the paint's sort of expensive, so she's been blowing me off on the paint, but hopefully she'll get that mixed up soon. We can start laying some base out on this and get it done. So yeah, I think that covers everything. I'll try to answer some more questions on those videos. Go in there and answer your questions and all that good stuff. And you guys try to have a good day, and we'll talk to you a little later.